Hey everyone, today I've got my Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 1 Disney Plus review. Another highly anticipated show has dropped on the Disney Plus streaming service. Is this new Marvel show one to watch? So as far as the story goes, I just have to say that right off the bat, I literally didn't know what to expect going into this show. Yes, I did see some of the trailers and the TV spots, and, I figured it would be another action-packed Marvel movie that focuses on two characters from the MCU, and maybe they were more or less popular. I don't know how you guys would rank them as far as Marvel characters go, but that couldn't be more than opposite than what I ended up seeing. We get to see how both Sam and Bucky are living their lives, and it almost seems like they're complete polar opposites of each other. And since this is set after the blip that, we see in Avengers Endgame, after the 5-year gap, and a lot has obviously changed after those 5 years off the grid. And because those were the two characters that actually got blipped, and then they ended up showing up in that portal scene. And, that was just so cool. But now we get to see them going on a journey of their own, sort of, discovering who they can eventually become, or, who they can fully embrace to be. And I really hope that they explore that going forward, because I heard there's only a few episodes of this show compared to what we saw in WandaVision, which I really enjoyed, so I'm hoping to see that same sort of, progression and traction happen here. With a character like Sam, he wasn't exactly sure he was ready to take on the mantle of being Captain America, especially when he's talking to Don Cheadle's Rhodes about, Steve Rogers' legacy as Captain America, and of course that little conversation that Sam had with Steve at the end of Avengers Endgame as well had me also, get choked up a little bit, just, sort of remembering all of that. And then Bucky, he needs some professional help. He's seeing a therapist, he's dealing with a lot of, his own issues, and he, eventually will have to face his demons, because, I feel like for a show like this, what these two characters go through, I feel like that's something that Marvel, hasn't exactly explored. And like I said, these two characters were just, not really at the forefront of the MCU. But now that we see that they have their own show, I really like what they have done with this show so far. And it sort of, sees it as this, refreshing, thing. And, it's sticking to this, grounded formula, and you see like what they could be like in, reality. So after the conversation that Sam has with Rhodes, then we go see him go on this covert operation and this mission that, he says is discreet, and the action just happens right away. And, I feel like it kind of mimics that one scene in The Dark Knight Rises, but it is a whole 10 minutes long sequence that made my heart race, jaw drop, and more. You don't think it felt too prolonged, though? It seemed like, okay, let's wrap it up, let's see what else is gonna happen, let's see what else he's gonna do, and then let's see Bucky, for God's sakes. The way it was executed, though, I would say it was pretty sharp and precise, and it did put a smile on my face. It feels like your classic action flick when you're seeing this whole thing, and Sam makes flying in that wingsuit look so easy. And at one point, he's told by this military convoy that, he's outnumbered, but I think we'll get to see his progression as Falcon if, he doesn't want to be Captain America with this new weight of responsibility. And you know what they say, when opportunity knocks, you should take that chance, and I think he should. As far as the casting goes, I feel like Anthony Mackie was born to play this role. I actually did see this new Netflix movie that he was in, where he comes off playing this really cool action star, and he was just really good playing this character. And I was really impressed with the way that his fighting style was choreographed. And no offense, but where has this Sam been hiding this whole time? I feel like we've seen more development with this character here in this one episode than we have seen in the entire, Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I also loved seeing a side of him that we didn't really get to see, as far as, being this family-oriented guy as well. And Sebastian Stan, like I said, he is somebody I stan as Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier, who has some big issues to sort out. And not only is he over 100 years old, but he's reliving his troubled past, and it is a hit or miss when it comes to his relationships. I don't know how they're going to explore that. I don't know. I mean, if I saw him on Tinder, I might take it. But I'm already taken, so, maybe he should have tried eHarmony. While we didn't get to see a Falcon and the Winter Soldier, interaction in this episode, I hopefully will see one in the next one, because I want to see them get the ball rolling with this show. The things that I liked about this episode was that while I thought that the stunts were all really cool, and it wasn't just that flying sequence that we saw with Falcon, but it was, also the use of technology and gadgets like the Red Wing were pretty badass. And you can't help but wonder why, would they even need the military detail when Sam's putting in most of the work? And there's also this other scene where there's this group of people that are wearing masks, and they kind of act like they're about to cause some terrorist, mayhem thing. And from the trailer, there was a focus on this one character wearing a mask, and I feel like it might be a female character, but we all know there's a bigger villain that is going to show up in the future who also wears a mask, and it might be Baron Zemo. And the final scene of the episode, without giving it away, is something slightly cringeworthy. I mean, I was not really expecting it to happen, but I understand why they went in that direction, so I can't really say whether or not I actually liked what they did with that. But I hope that, whatever, they're thinking about doing with this certain, thing, I hope it doesn't negatively affect another character's agenda going forward. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this episode was that I feel like there wasn't much story going for it. I mean, they did focus a lot on that one action sequence to really have me care so much about what else is going on, and especially with the other characters. And I hope that, it's all going to change going forward, and that the focus is less on spectacle and more on substance. And I didn't feel as invested with what was going on, so I really hope that I'm not going to be bored out of my mind watching the show, because it does seem like it could have some potential. So overall, I would say that while there were some things that I wasn't really impressed with this episode, I hope that it can, get better along the way, because we only have a few episodes in this entire series, so I really want them to take advantage of the time that they have. So I would still recommend seeing this episode and this series in general. I definitely think that some fans will be impressed with it, and maybe some will not. I actually haven't heard what other people have been saying about it, so I don't know. So I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys later.